Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course. Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering. Off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. I'm playing video series videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I'm eating this, and it's not even St. Patrick's Day. Don't tell anyone. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, though? Happens to be my Conquer Divide shirt. Yeah, it's got like a spaceman. The hell is Conquer Divide, though? Conquer Divide are a band that I became aware of at the time I'm doing this last year in 2024. They were one of the touring bands with the band Kitty. I'd never personally heard of them prior to that show, which was a little bit surprising because then I looked into it, it turned out they'd been doing stuff for, a little bit. But I thought they were absolutely amazing. I really enjoyed their set. The energy was great. And I think I even mentioned this because I've worn this shirt in other reviews. I think I even mentioned at one point, like, one of the really cool things about seeing some of these, like newer bands, at least bands that are new to me, is that, man, like you get that energy going, just like in such a way that it reminds me of my early concert days. And I definitely got that from this band. I liked them so much, I actually got videos of their performance. Those videos are on my channel as well, just in case maybe you want to check them out. If nothing else, I'd be more than happy to kind of point you in the right direction as far as their music goes, because I do think they're a really incredible band. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? St. Patrick's Day, eh? So yeah, St. Patrick's Day is still over a week away at the time I'm doing this. But I went over there, went out to a local spot, place called Serino's Deli, which is a super cool local deli and eatery. And I've reviewed plenty of stuff from there before. In fact, I just got through reviewing their pepper and egg sandwich, so you can watch that review if you're interested. And I was looking at their menu, and they're like, hey, we have a special. What special was it, though? It's boom! What is this? This is their St. Patrick's Day sandwich, which, again, is... I will post this probably on St. Patrick's Day, provided I remember to do so. But the St. Patrick's Day sandwich consists of corned beef on rye with coleslaw and Dijon mustard. Ooh, I do love corned beef. So... Oh, and what with this being a review of a local establishment, this review and my pepper and egg review are going to end up on my Eating Out Illinois playlist, which is playlist for just Illinois spots. Oh, it looks so good. And let's get a thing for the thing here if we can, which I believe we can, folks. I think we can do it. I've done it before, I'll do it again. It looks like that. We'll go, ha 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 ha. Cool, corned beef sandwich. Corned beef is a beautiful thing. It's one of the best things ever. Corned beef sandwich, do. Ooh. That's good corned beef. The thing about corned beef is, you want it to have that, that kind of striking, somewhat saltiness to it, but if you go too far with it, it kind of ruins the whole thing. But obviously that's the preference. No, that's nice. Corned beef they're using is definitely good corned beef. It's got, again, some of that saltiness and everything, but it still has that nice meatiness to it. So the corned beef is good. So right off the bat, we're doing good. The rye bread is really tasty. It is I like rye bread in certain circumstances. I don't dislike it, but my dad was a huge rye bread guy. And so all of my sandwiches as a kid were made with rye bread. even sandwiches that like didn't make sense to use rye bread, like peanut butter and jelly. So I kind of got a little bit weary of rye bread, but with a corned beef or on a Reuben or something like that, love it. This is good rye bread. Like, even with the other strong flavors, you still taste the bread, and it's really nice. And of course, you know, it's kind of got that little panini sort of vibe to it. You know, it's a little bit toasted, so I like that. The kind of the outlier here, you know, the thing that's going into this had me the most like, okay, how, you know, is that going to work or not, is the coleslaw. Because coleslaw is one of those things very divisive. Some people love it, some people hate it. I like it in certain circumstances. I always use the Popeyes and KFC analogy because, like, for me, I like KFC's coleslaw, hate Popeyes. Just the consistency about it. But in the case with this, coleslaw is really good. It's nice and tangy, but it's not overtaking everything else. And it's nice and creamy. And going through that, you get the sharpness of the Dijon mustard. So it ends up feeling really nice and balanced because you get the sort of earthiness from the rye bread, that nice savory sort of saltiness from the corned beef, the creaminess and the freshness from the coleslaw, and then again, just that sharpness of the Dijon mustard. This is really tasty. Like, there's nothing about that I dislike. It's all really tasty. It's a very nice corned beef sandwich. I'd say that's fitting for a St. Patrick's Day special. The way all the flavors come together reminds me a little bit of like an Italian sub. If you watch my channel, you know I like an Italian sub. A really good Italian sub, when it has like all the proper components, everything sort of put together just so, kind of becomes one flavor. That reminds me a little bit of this. But, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Absolutely, and absolutely. Like, coming into this, I pretty much knew this was going to win for me because Serino's Deli is an excellent spot. I've never had anything bad from them, and I love a corned beef. So, like, now if I do have a criticism, it's only one criticism. For me personally, and I'm this guy, right? I'm a bit of a rotund individual. I could have used a little bit more corned beef. Because for me personally, when I make a corned beef sandwich for myself, I'm stacking the shit out of that corned beef. And even though it might throw off the balance a little bit, that was my one thing, was like, because you're still getting a decent amount of corned beef. Like, you're getting corned beef flavor in every part of it. But I'd be willing to drop like an extra buck for, you know, for a little extra slathering of corned beef, just to build it up a little bit higher. I'm just saying. But everything else, man, like I said, I really like the coleslaw with it. Dijon mustard worked really nice. Like, it's a simple but beautiful thing. That's one of the great things about, you know, sandwiches and delis and stuff, is that it doesn't have to be super fancy. You know, just put it together the right way, make sure you're using good ingredients. And Serino's does that. And if I'm recommending it, I'm definitely recommending it. Like I said, you know, I would go over there and say, because I know, I've never personally done it, but I do have friends who occasionally eat there. And one of them in particular, you know, he'll ask for extra meat. So I would go over there and maybe say, if you're going to get this one, you know, see if they can go over there and tag on. I'm sure they'd be willing to accommodate, you know, maybe charge you a little bit more. I don't know how that whole thing works. But, I mean, it's a really good sandwich. You know, like, there's absolutely nothing about it to dislike. Coleslaw may or may not be your thing, but I think it works perfectly on this. 5 things before I get out of here, though. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there and have themselves a truly corned beef-tastic rest of your life. Because, folks, corned beef, it's wonderful. It's a beautiful, amazing thing. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there, whenever possible, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, and like I said, the time I'm doing this, I'll try to remember to post this on St. Patrick's Day, so if that's the case, happy St. Patrick's Day to you. However your family may or may not celebrate, or, whatever you do with it or not. For me, it's mostly about the Shamrock Shakes from McDonald's. I'm not going to lie. But if I can get some corned beef in there too, you better believe we're doing it. But anyway,